Hello and welcome to 5-inch Floppy on GameArena.com.au. I'm Junglist. So, what's cool in gaming this week? Well, ever since Half-Life 2 was released in 2004, a team of volunteers has been working to make the original Half-Life with the new source graphics. That team has risen to over 40 volunteers, and after years of work, the result is Black Mesa, a complete makeover to one of the greatest and highest rated games of all time. In Half-Life, you play the famously mute protagonist Gordon Freeman, who, armed with a hazmat suit and a crowbar, defies universal odds in what has to be his second worst day at the office ever. The first was karaoke day. He lost his voice. It was very sad. If you're new to gaming, you might not have heard of Black Mesa. As a facility, it's pretty underground. But whereas Aperture Science is known for its achievements, Black Mesa will always be known for one monumental screw-up.
What is he doing in there? Get away from the radio! Oh, good job.
Certain things have been changed in the new version, levels shortened here and there, bits made easier, but as you climb and crowbar your way around the Black Mesa facility, you'll realize it's still largely one of those games that doesn't so much hold your hand as find clever ways of telling you where to go. Things are falling apart all around you, and around every corner is some new event that changes your path. What really comes through, though, is that although the graphics needed updating, and believe me they did, this was the old game, the design of Half-Life has aged beautifully. This is one you can play for a nostalgia trip or just play because it's a great game, especially considering buying Half-Life at the moment is $10 on Steam, and Black Mesa is 100% free. Now to an indie game that quenches our thirst for that category of all too rare games set in space. FTL, or Faster Than Light, sees you in charge of a little spaceship with vital information that presumably many Bothans died to secure. You'll have to make it all the way across the galaxy with a hostile fleet of ships on your tail. Part of the magic of Faster Than Light is not giving you enough of what you need. You start with a reactor that doesn't provide enough power to all systems without upgrading. You have less crew than you need to man all stations. And when you engage in the inevitable combat, systems will be knocked offline that create havoc. The result is you rarely get a feeling of being comfortable in Faster Than Light. You're never happy with your situation, and whatever plan that you may have had always gets shot down, and things get tense. First things first though, getting familiar with your ship. There are your weapon systems, oxygen systems, shields, helm, engines, and medbay, among other things. In combat you'll choose which enemy components to target, which is a necessary part of your strategy. Here's where things get tricky. All of these systems are connected. Without shields, your enemy is free to take out whatever components they wish. Without oxygen, your crew will eventually die. If there's a fire, you can open the hatch doors and deprive the fire of oxygen, but what if they've targeted and taken out your door control? The first strategy you're exposed to is using missiles, which bypass shields, to take out their shields while your lasers target other systems. When you get your next ship, you'll be able to use an ion cannon to disable their shields while your laser drone targets random parts of the enemy ship. Combat in Faster Than Light is interesting, and there's lots of different tactics you can do to wreak havoc on the enemy's ship, but pretty much all of them revolve around bypassing shields. You can also upgrade your engines to increase your dodge chance, but that wasn't as useful, we found, as just plain having more shields. However, some of the more interesting strategies like teleporting firebombs over to their ship and then targeting their door systems, you might not get to execute for a while because you need special equipment to do so. And when you die in Faster Than Light, you die for good. This is one of those games with a randomly generated galaxy every time. See how far you can get, but you'll rarely win. There will be non-combat encounters as well, usually forcing you to make a decision between a rewarding path or a less risky path. And as you venture further into the more difficult sections of the galaxy, your fate is decided by how well you can trade early on. We don't mean trade like in the store trade, we mean coming out of combat with 20 less hull points and 50 more scrap metal, or perhaps a new weapon. Was it worth it? Your ability to trade well in every scenario is essential to building a powerful enough ship to take on the final boss at the end. And that brings us to Endgame. Black Mesa is pretty much a no-brainer. It's free, it's great, and the older gameplay has aged wonderfully. You don't need Half-Life 1 to play it, all you need is the Source SDK 2007, which you can find on Steam, also free. Faster Than Light is extremely addictive. although we felt it could have done a better job of exposing players to the more interesting weapons and ship components. After dumping many hours into it, we still had never boarded a ship or used a cloaking device, and we still have only 2 ships unlocked. Perhaps speeding up that unlock process would be nice so you can experience more of the game, but it's still definitely worth playing with a very large hours to cost ratio, and enough different ship components and enemies to make every playthrough unique.